One of the biggest reasons content creation feels so exhausting is that most business owners are starting from scratch every single time they sit down to post. They're trying to come up with brand new ideas, write something new, design something new, and hope it works. But there's a much easier way. In this episode of the Painless Posting Podcast, I'm going to show you exactly how to build a content library that helps you organize, find, and reuse and repurpose the content you've already created. It's showtime! Let's get started. Creating consistent, engaging social media content shouldn't feel like rocket science. I've helped thousands of entrepreneurs go from I don't know what to post to I've got this, using simple, easy to implement steps that make a big difference. I'm Maggie Carey, and welcome to the Painless Posting Podcast. Let me ask you something. What happens to your social media posts after you publish them? For a lot of business owners, the answer is nothing. They post something on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and then that post basically disappears into the social media abyss. Maybe it gets a few likes or comments, maybe it performs really well, but once a few days have passed, they move on and they start creating something completely new. That is a lot of work for a single piece of content that may only be seen for a day or two. Your content should not be disposable. Every post you create is a business asset. It represents your knowledge, your experience, your ideas, and the ways you help your customers. That content should be stored somewhere so you can easily find it and use it again. And that's where a content library comes in. A content library is simply one organized place where you keep content you've already created. It might include captions, graphics, videos, blog posts, emails, podcast episodes, or even ideas you have not even developed yet. The exact place where you store it is less important than making sure it's easily to search, sort, and reuse. You could create a content library using a spreadsheet, a project management tool, a database, or a social media platform that includes a built-in content library. What matters is that you're not relying on your memory or scrolling through 2 or 3 years of old posts trying to find that one caption you vaguely remember writing that would be perfect to repost today. I've done that. You remember writing something really good. You might even remember the graphic that went with it, but you can't remember when you posted it, where you posted it, or what the exact wording was. After 20 minutes of scrolling, you usually give up and write something new. A good content library prevents that. But simply putting everything in one folder is not enough. You need a way to organize it, and that's where content pillars come in. Content pillars are main categories or topics your business regularly talks about. Think of them as sections of your library or files in a filing cabinet. For my business, I have pillars around content creation, social media strategy, engagement, AI, personal branding, business visibility, tips and tricks, and testimonials. A health and wellness coach might have pillars about nutrition or movement mindset, sleep, healthy habits. Home service company might have categories around maintenance tips, common problems, customer questions, seasonal reminders, behind-the-scene content. Does that give you an idea of what a content pillar is? The pillars connect what you know with what your audience needs. They also help you create a more balanced social media presence. Without categories, it's easy to keep posting about the same thing over and over again. You may talk constantly about your services, but forget to share educational content. Or you might offer lots of tips, but never show people why they should hire you. I made that mistake, my friends. When every post is assigned a pillar, you can quickly see what you have plenty of and where there may be gaps. Your pillars do not have to be complicated. You don't need 20 different categories or some massive color-coded filing system that takes longer to manage than the content itself. Start with 5 or 6 main topics you want to be known for. Then each time you create a post, assign it to one of those categories. You can also add tags to make sure the content's easier to find later on. For example, you might tag a post by platform, audience, format, offer, season, or specific topic. Let's say you're a business coach and you create a post about overcoming fear of raising your prices. You might place that post under your mindset pillar and tag it with pricing, confidence, and business growth. 6 months from now, when you want to create a series about confidence, you can search that tag and instantly find every single post you have already created on the subject. That is so much easier than starting with a blank screen or spending hours trying to find that old content. And this is exactly how I created my weekly Content Confidence series. I wanted to share a consistent series of posts that help business owners feel more confident about showing up on social media. I did not sit down and try to come up with a completely new idea every week. What I did was I created a whole series all at once. I batch created my content, and then I tagged it the Content Confidence series. Now, mind you, I'm using my tool Painless Posting, so I have a built-in way where I put in my caption, my graphic, I tag it, what it is, and this is where the repurposing comes into place. I actually have that series. I've created 52 of them, and that series runs. It posts 1 on the first Monday of January, 2 on the second Monday of January, and so on throughout the year. Then, when it comes to the first Monday in January next year, it just goes back to that content. I am repurposing content without even having to create new content. I created it once and I republish it. As long as it's evergreen, you can do the same thing. Now, I found posts about being nervous on video, worrying about what other people think, and feeling like you don't have anything interesting to say, comparing yourself to other business owners, and hesitating to share your own opinions. Those ideas were already there. And those were the ideas that I used to create my series. All of the posts could be reused. And if I wanted to, I could make a small update, change the image if I want. But it's already built in my content library in Painless Posting, so I don't have to do that. Now, if you have another system, even if you store them in, say, Canva, or you store them in a Google Drive, at least you have them at the ready to repurpose easily. And remember, because the content was organized around a clear topic, I could turn individual posts into that ongoing series. It made it so much easier. And that's one of the most valuable things about a content library. It allows you to do this. Now, I created a whole series based on this, but maybe what I want to do is go back in time and look at all my posts that I did about LinkedIn. I could go back and search my tag for LinkedIn and see what I shared about LinkedIn. And now I can take those posts and create a whole new series or repurpose that content, as long as it's still evergreen. With social media, with my industry, things change rapidly. So sometimes the content that I create today is going to be outdated in a year. Platforms change, algorithms change, the social media platforms appear and disappear. So what I have to do is also create things that are evergreen, things that are never going to change. Quotes, testimonials, things like mindset, and things about me that were in my past. Stuff like that doesn't change, right? We take it, we modify it, and we tweak it so that it can be reused and repurposed again. And we're not starting from scratch. One other idea is to group posts about frequently asked questions that come up. That can become a month-long educational campaign. Several tips around one topic can also become a carousel, a video, a blog post, or even a podcast episode. You are not constantly creating more. You are getting more value from what you've already created. Now, I know some people feel uncomfortable reusing content. They think, I've already posted that. People are going to notice. They probably will not notice. Not everyone sees everything you publish, number one. And if you published something last year, they probably won't remember it. I bet you might not even probably remember it. And the information is still so useful. There is absolutely nothing wrong with sharing it again. I often get this question because with our Painless Posting system, when you create one piece of content, you can share it on up to 8 different platforms. And somebody's like, well, why should I post it on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn? And what we can do is we take the main image or the video and we just change the caption to fit the platform. Now, it's unlikely that somebody is going to see the same exact post on Instagram as they do on Facebook. Most people have a platform of choice, something that they go to most frequently. So somebody who's active on LinkedIn may never even see the posts that you put on Facebook. So why not multi-purpose that content and put it on all the platforms you possibly can and get 8 times the exposure instead of just one platform? And think about how often you repeat yourself in real life. I've been married for almost 40 years. Let me tell you something. I repeat myself an awful lot. You probably answer the same customer question over and over again. Repetition is not the problem. Boring repetition is the problem. You can bring back a strong idea and present it differently. You might change the opening line. You might use a different example. You might update the graphic or turn the caption into a video or connect the idea to something happening in your business right now. You may make it a flashback Friday or a throwback Thursday. The core message stays the same, but the presentation feels fresh. You're taking a new spin on it. Sometimes you can even just repost evergreen content exactly as they are without any edits. How much time would that save you? A post about how to improve your LinkedIn headline could still be valuable months later. A reminder to respond to comments after you publish is not going to suddenly become irrelevant. A tip about asking customers for reviews can continue helping my audience for years. When you have a content library, you can identify those evergreen posts and place them back into your schedule. Some platforms allow you to recycle posts automatically at intervals you choose. You may also prefer to search your library, select a post, make a few updates, and schedule it again at a click of a button. Either method saves time. Inside Painless Posting, this is one of the features I use the most, not just for me, but for my clients and for the people who use it. I can keep my content in one place, organize it by category, find previous posts, and reuse them without having to search across every single social media platform. It takes me seconds, and then I drag and drop it on the date I want it to appear. It's that simple. I can also create groups of related posts and build a series around a particular topic and then schedule it out on a regular interval. And I can have that continue to repeat on autopilot, or I can have it end after it's completed with the entire series. Now, this does not mean I never create anything new. It means I'm not wasting what I've already created. And there's a difference. A content library should support your creativity, not replace it. When you are not using all of your energy to reinvent the wheel, you have time to improve your ideas, to respond to your audience, and create based on what is happening in your business right now. You can use that library to make smarter decisions about what to create next. Here is an amazing idea for you to implement today. Look at the content that you've received. The most comments, saves, shares, clicks, or conversations. Look at your analytics. Again, in Painless Posting, we do this. Not only we can see what post performed best, but across all platforms, and then we can break down into each platform what performed best. Those results are telling you what your audience wants more of, what they're interested in. You might update the original post. You could create a follow-up post. You could answer a question someone asked in the comments and turn that into a topic. Or you can turn the whole topic into a series. The options are endless when you think about this, You can use this content so many ways. Don't just let it die a slow death. Don't just let it post and ghost. Go in and look at the content. Analyze what it's doing so you can create more content that your audience is interested in. This is why I want you to stop thinking about content creation as something that begins and ends when you hit publish. Publishing is one part of the process. Afterward, the content should be saved, categorized, and available for you to use again. The easiest way to begin is to start with the content you are already creating. You do not have to go back and organize every post you've published since you opened your business or since you started posting on social media. Choose your main pillars, decide where your library will live, and begin adding content to it from this point forward. Then, when you have time, you can go back and add some of your strongest older posts. Start with the ones that performed well, answer an important customer question, or explain something you find yourself saying all the time. Before long, you will have a resource filled with ideas you already know are connected to your business and your audience. The next time you need content, you will not have to stare at a blank screen. You can open up your library, choose a pillar, search a topic, find something useful. You can post, update, or repurpose. You can go with your AI of choice and say, here are my best performing posts. What content should I be creating? These are things you can do. Your content should keep working long after the day you publish it. Build a system that makes that possible. Now, if you're interested in finding out how I make this happen for my clients and for my painless posters, please check out painlessposting.com. You can go and check out our demo on the site. It has information on how we create content using the system and categorize it. And of course, please feel free to reach out and schedule a preview, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you might have. Again, that's painlessposting.com. Let me help you create twice as much content in half the time. Well, that's what I have for you today. I hope you found this episode of the Painless Posting Podcast helpful. Until next time, keep your posting painless and your engagement powerful.